Hey guys, I thought I would show you how to realign with the ruler if you wanted to. Because in my long video, I decided not to realign because it was just too much work. But I don't know if I'm going to now or not on the real quilt. And I also thought that, maybe people would want to know how I'm doing that. And it's kind of tricky because you have to say to yourself, okay, well, I want to be an inch away from, say, the lowest previous valley. Okay. You want to be an inch away. You want your stitching line to be an inch away. So I'll do it this way just to be correct. And so we're about an inch away. And I'll even see if I zoom in, if it's probably too much. We'll go back out. So that's where I want my stitching to be, my valley to be right here, an inch away. Well, if I put my ruler up there, obviously the needle, yes, the needle has to go right there, but the actual foot is going to go, the front of the foot is going to go here, and from the front of the foot to the needle is a 1/4 inch from the front of the foot to the needle. So if the front of the foot is here, then so far this distance from the previous line to the edge of the ruler is 1 1/4. 1 1/4 inches. So, okay, that's all fine. That's what we're thinking, and that's how this has to be arranged. But we want to stitch our basting line that we want to follow. And if you recall, I was lining up the ruler with a basting line that fell at this intersection here on the peaks, this lower intersection. Well, technically that lower intersection is the same point as this valley, the edge of this valley. And it's kind of hard to see, and it may be slightly off, or it could just be, I'm going to try and line up the edge here with this other ruler and then try and tilt it. Let me see if I can hold it without it slipping. So this point on this edge and this where we've been lining up with our basting line are the same point. Okay. And so the measurement for our basting line, okay, we want to take into consideration, we've got a 1/4 inch here, okay, and the needle's going to be there. But this distance now for our basting line is going to be 1 1/4 inches. So 1 1/4 inches. Okay. Well, how do we line up 1 1/4 inches using the back of the foot? Well, we know that the back of the foot is, now that we're talking about our basting line now, the back of the foot is 1/4 inch away from the needle. So for our basting line, we want to line up the back of the foot at the 1 inch mark, not 1 1/4, because remember, we want our basting line to be here. So then line up the back of the foot, and I can't get the foot in there, but I can get a simulated foot in there to show you. Well, I'd have to put it up here. Yeah, it's going to be hard to get it on there because we want the center part where the needle's going to be there. Okay. That's where we want our basting line, 1/4 inch plus 1 inch. So, but it's going to be 1 inch from the back of the foot. So we just take our line and we take our foot and go right up against it. There's our 1 inch. So our basting line will stitch at 1 1/4, 1 1/4. Okay. Now what I found is between all of these tools and human error and the angle that I'm viewing everything, and you know, this 1/4 inch, it is a 1/4 inch. I did measure it, but it looks deceiving. It looks like it's more than 1/4, but you can see it's 1/4. But I feel like it's more than 1/4 because of all the imperfections and thicknesses and everything that's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1/8 of an inch onto whatever measurement I came up with on the back of the foot. So I came up with 1 inch. I'm going to put it on 1 inch and 1/8. I'm going to put this stitching line on 1 inch and 1/8. And then, and see, I'm at an angle, so I don't even know if I'm really on it. And then put this in the back and kind of, I have to lift up the ruler a bit. Okay, now the foot is up against it, and now I'll hit my horizontal channel lock. Okay. And so, and I did also change my thread color so we could see the basting line. This is that serger thread, but at least it's something we can see. And so now it's going to be a 1 inch basting line. I'll just make a quick tie and we'll go for it. Just kind of pressing gently just so the fabric doesn't push, because this is Robert Kaufman linen, and although it stitches beautifully, you know, on the long arm, that just, it's so lovely to work with, and it's so pretty with this beige. You know, it's a stretchy fabric, so you have to really be cognizant of that. So, okay, I'll put on my vertical. This is a basting line that I'm going to take out, so I don't need that. I'll just make a quick tie off, kind of one that's easy to come out. And tie off there. And so now that's where I'm going to line up the lower row of the peak, which is the same as this valley, right? So I'm going to come over here, put this line on my vertical, and this point there, and you can kind of see it is, let me get it there and there, and you can kind of see it is lined up with that. It might look a little off, but that's because we're looking at it from an angle, you know, and there could be slight imperfections in everything. So I'm lined up there, I'm lined up here, and now let's see if I'm in fact, I'll use the same valley. When I'm a 1/4 inch away, because that's where the needle's going to stitch, you know, our wave, does that measure an inch? Line that up, and let's make sure that we have our 1 inch. So I'll put the 1 inch line on this stitching line here. Okay. And my 1/4 inch, okay, because that's where the foot's gonna ride here. And the needle is gonna go right there. So all in all, I think I'm pretty almost exact. And I'm glad I added on that 1/8 of an inch. I mean, what's not perfect? I just think it's a combination of everything. And it is possible that, I mean, when I measured this distance from, say, here to the edge, it measured 1/4 of an inch. It just looks so deceiving, you know. You can see it's, well, let me flatten it. Okay. I mean, it's right on the yellow, the bottom of that yellow. So maybe it's like 1/64 of an inch bigger. I don't know. But I'm pretty comfortable with that, with adding that 1/8 of an inch. I think it just gives me more confidence that I'm in the right spot. So now I do have to change my thread. So I'll be right back. Okay, so remember it's this line lines up with our basting line, and we'll go this one on the vertical. Okay. All right, and I'm going to go off to the side. Oh, I have to get my bobbin thread up. I'll just bring it in the general vicinity there. And then I'm going to bring it under the ruler. Now I have to do it again. Oh, do I have both of them? Oh, my needle thread is not long. Okay. Line it up again. Okay. Okay, I'm going to press my finger down right here just to do a needle down, and then I'll just do a tie. Oh, I'm still on basting. Duh. Okay. Still lined up somewhat. Get my thumb there. And remember, my thumb, I decided was so comfortable with it kind of slanted, where it's like right on this edge. So it's pressing on top and on the edge, both. And it's more comfortable for me. And then I have to go off to the right and put my ring finger in the valley over here, and these two on top. And here we go. And one thing, this linen is more slippery than the cotton, I've noticed, with the ruler. And maybe it's because I'm using these different grips instead of sandpaper, but I really like these grips now that I've tried them. So I'm lined up again in the same spot, off to the left, slanted, so I can be comfortable, you know, with my hands. Okay, and now you can see I overshot it, so the ruler is to the left of the needle by 1/16. So when I reline it up, the ruler should also be to the left of the needle by 1/16, and line these up. And that looks good. Okay, and I am going to do a vertical channel lock and tie off. And so that line is probably really hard for us to see. Whoops, I got to pull up my bobbin thread. So to follow that, I probably turn my light off and quilt by shadow. Just when it's on the linen, it's really hard to see. And so now you can see that I've realigned myself, and you can see, you know, it's irregular. And I mean, look how off I was. But I think because I did it right away, and I actually, this is the 6th line. I was going to do it on the 5th line, because as you can see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I did it. I was going to do it here, but I wasn't off as bad because I'm getting better at this, and also it's a shorter span. My big problem, to be honest, was starting, because it's, you know, I'm starting in here, I'm starting in the valley, and then, you know, you kind of have this little section here where you're still in the valley, and then you swoop up. Well, you can see how far I'm off at the beginning each time. Well, I started it up here, right, correctly, but then as I kept going, look at this one, I already messed it up. And then I saw that, and then this one, I tried to be a little more, you know, cognizant of what I'm doing wrong. And then this one is better. Can't believe I did that. So nice. This one is not bad. And then now I have, whoops, I wasn't on track. This one here is much better. And this one isn't bad. But it's not correct, because look at this is the one that from the ruler. So then I thought, well, maybe when I start out, I shouldn't start out, you know, on the valley. Maybe I should start out here. Maybe it's easier for me to go downhill. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, you know, I could still end over here in the valley because it is easy to end in the valley. So that's something to think about. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll have a hard time with this section of of the peak. And again, I'm probably being too hard on myself, you know. So, and then as far as staying centered, you'll see in the video that I started using the tape measure across my quilt. But that meant that I'd have to roll the quilt like every 2 rows just so that the tape measure is in my view. And because like right now, if I brought the tape measure over where it's at right now, the tape measure would be like way down here. I don't know how much it would help me. And technically, I have my stripes on this quilt to help me keep straight in my curve, so to speak, or to stay horizontal in my curve. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I even need it really on this one. But you'll see on the video that you know, I end up using it, and I'm grabbing my bobbin thread and I lost it. Okay, I just yanked it off. It came right off. Probably because the knot that I made for it was not that, you know, secure. The beginning tie-on. So yeah, so then I would have to then put my echo guide back on. But I mean, if you think about it, people who do custom quilting, you know, it takes them a while. And I mean, we're supposed to love the process, right? And I am better now at putting this on. I'm getting better. Put my channel locks on. Whoops, this is the wrong one. Pulled the 1 inch out. I can't use the 1 inch because it makes my points be it makes my curves be pointy. So then here's my new way of doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my threads around to the front just to make sure they're not going to get caught. And then I might have to turn the light on. Okay, we might have to do it that way. So then I bring my threads around and I'll just kind of hold this in place and dial down. Keep dialing till the needle's all the way up. And then I think before what happened was I still have to use them both together to get it started. So I have the purple one in the back, the purple thing in the back. Oh, I just lost it. Okay. And then this one in the front, but make sure the purple thing is all the way touching, like it's actually under the foot right now. So it's really supporting. And then once I have my thumb on that purple thing in the back, I can then wiggle this in and then just slide it all the way. So now I don't even need the purple thing. And then this then is, I can slide it even more, and now I can start wiggling it. It's right up against the foot here on the right. And then it's pretty much all the way up. As long as your foot is extending below, you're good, and you want to feel part of the foot up here. So once it's up, then I can whoosh this under to get those threads out. And that makes me feel better using this plastic and the wood rather than screwdrivers. So now I'm ready to do my other echoes. So I have to quilt by shadow because I can't see this line. I almost lined up with the wrong one up there. So let me bring this over, get a little bit of light. Okay. So 1/4 inch away up there. Boy, I can't even see anything. Okay. Make my tie. All right, so I'm going to go up first. Okay, I think I did better that time. It's quite a bit of shadowing. I'm going to put my vertical channel lock on. I better pull some more and get my fingers stuck in there. Okay. How'd I do? Not bad. I'm getting better, but this is a short run. I mean, I can't really judge myself by this short run. How did I do here? Well, I can't, I can't mimic that. I don't know. I think it's just the way I'm echoing. I think it is hard to echo, but that's okay. So that was one. And so technically I probably should have done like, I guess if you count that as the first one, then my 5th one would be another ruler. So let's see, I'm going to try to walk and kind of shuffle a little bit so I can practice, even though this is a short run. All right, I guess it's okay. See, I don't do so great when I'm walking. So that would have been 3. Okay, let's try it again. Oh, I'm getting pointy at the end for some reason. I did it up there and now I really exaggerated it. So that would have been 4. Well, let's see. Yeah, 1. I know you can't see it. 2, 3, 4. So technically, I would have to really, if I'm doing every 5th one, I would have to realign again with the ruler. Whoops. So now in this sample, I only have 1, 2, maybe 2 or 3. That's like 4 inches to the end. So 1, 2, 3, probably 3 only. So do I want to reline? Do I want to go through all that all over again? You know, every 5th row? I don't know. You could see how I really got off. I'm only on the 3rd row. Now this new one will be showing more. I guess I'll do it just to see if I like it better. It's not easy over here with all this mess going on. So I'd have to do a basting line. Now remember, my basting line was 1 inch from the back, but I added an 1/8, so 1 1/8. So I guess you could see it with these other lines as well. It's hard because since this isn't tall, you have to kind of slant it to get to the back for it to butt up against. Okay. Well, I can see that basting line kind of. I didn't even follow it with my hands. I'll do vertical. Oh, it doesn't matter because I'm going to take it out anyways. Okay. All right. So we line this line up with the basting line and that there. This on the vertical, this on the basting. Let's just bring this over here in the vicinity and do a needle down. Okay. I'm just going to put it in the vicinity, the needle down, and then I'll bring this around. I don't know which way it wants to go better. Okay, and then I'll line it up again. And then I'll just do a needle up, needle down to get it up against the ruler. So I'll press down and, okay, needle down. Okay. So I'll do a tie. I'm going to do it back and forth. I don't have my ring finger there. Okay, and here we go. So I overshot it by about 1/8 of an inch, and my spacing looks pretty good. Let's see. Yep, I'm right on at 1 inch. Perfect. Okay. So I overshot it by 1/8. So maybe I will do the realigning. Overshot it by a hair. Okay. Because in the whole scope of things, I mean, boy, look at that is very close there. You could tell I really messed that up a lot. But I'm looking straight. You know, maybe I started veering down or something, you know. I don't know if I tied off. And maybe with realigning, maybe I'll like this better and I won't come back and do my quarter. I keep changing my mind. I don't know what I want. Okay, so now we echo that, but we have to take out our basting stitch. So I guess I'll be wasting a lot of thread. But that's okay. It's all in the fun in the process. Let's see if I can grab my bobbin thread. Did I get it? I think I did. Okay, so now we put our echo foot back on. Okay, channel locks, threads to the back. Slide it in. I'll bring my threads to the front, just so I know they're under this. Dial down till the needle is up again. Now this time, let me try to get in there with the first try. Okay, so they're both in. Okay, much better. All right, can take that out and then wiggle this up. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so good at this. Perfect. I should time myself. Oh, well, this thing got my threads out, this strap. Oh, I was going to go in the front, which meant that would not have gotten my threads out. Well, I don't know. I think it's easier to go in the back because I can't see all the junk there. Okay. So we're 1/4 inch away. I'm on coast regulate still, obviously. Okay. So this is my new one. So it's kind of like goes straight for 2 stitches, you know, because we're at the bottom of the valley and then it goes up. That's hard. Okay, but I'm going to have to turn the light off because I'm going to be doing it on this. I can't see. Did I tie on? I think I did. Okay. That wasn't too bad. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know if I could fit a third one in. Maybe. But, you know, I'll lose my momentum if I have to do, you know, a straight for the valley. So I'll wing it. Oh yeah, I'm way down here for the valley. And I trimmed this with the wrong scissors and I cut off my seam allowance. Yeah, I'm way down here. Oh well, let's see if I can do it. I was closer. It's almost easier to actually follow it when you have a foot that's smaller than the curve. But you know, then you're ending up with a 3/4 inch. Oh, I don't know if I tied off. Yeah, I don't know. I might have. Yeah, I mean, not bad. It's probably almost an inch in this spot right here. So really, I'm happy with it. Yeah, it's like 7/8, and the rest of them are a good inch. There's an inch. Okay. Well, let's see if I can get a zoomed out view of everything. Not bad. Yeah, I don't know now. Now it doesn't look so bad. That's because I'm not walking. I'm getting better. I realigned twice. Maybe I don't need to do my 1/4 inch echo. Because remember, when you do the 1/4 inch echo, you basically, you've changed the whole design. Instead of waves, it looks like tiny, you know, skinny little lines. Interesting. I'll have to put the design in Embird with the 1/4 inch echoes on it so that I can audition it, see the difference. This would be a cute little placemat, even though it's not rectangular. I could give it to my daughter because her linen quilt is this color, this exact fabric. And it actually has a white strip in the middle to connect the two olive top and bottom halves. But that white strip is actually a Moda linen. It's 70%. Is it 70% linen and 30% cotton, or is it the other way around? I think it's 70 linen, I think, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. But yeah, it reminds me of that, even though this is from stretch jeans. It's stretch denim, and it's actually not the front of the denim, it's the back of the denim, because it looks better for quilting. All right, well, there you go. So remember to just add 1/8 of an inch to your measurement, and then it should work out a lot better. You won't be you know, cutting yourself short. So it was 1.25 inches total to get to this line. Okay, 1.25 inches from the last valley or whatever, the lowest valley. But you line up the foot at 1 inch, but then you add 1/8, so 1 inch and 1/8. So put 1 inch and 1/8 on the stitching line, and then bring the foot to the back of that. I have a ruler that has a measurement, this one, a thicker ruler, but it doesn't have 1/8 in it, but that's okay. You can guesstimate, you know. But I should probably buy a ruler that has 1/8 that's 1/4 inch thick, because, you know, then this one we'd have to, well, I'd have to put it on this side. And so you'd say you'd line it up on, say here, this lowest part, you'd kind of line it up halfway between the 1 and the 1 1/4, right there, and then bring your foot to this. Of course, the echo would be off. And I know I'm zoomed out right now. So, but yeah. Oh, when I zoom in, okay. 1 inch and 1/8. So I could use this one. Yeah, because it's hard to use one that's, you know, only 1/8 inch thick on your foot, on the back of your foot. All right. Another long video. All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.